Hello, Scorpios. So, this reading is timeless when it finds you, which you're reading at that time. Gender's very fluid in tarot, so I may say he, she, masculine, feminine, or there may be a man or a woman on the cards. Just know that you can flip it if you need to. It's more about the character of the person than the gender that I'm talking about, if that makes any sense. Also, it's a general reading, it's not a personal reading, so some of the things I say may be very, very personal to you or seem that way. I may use the word you. Just know that you really need to use your intuition in determining which messages are for you personally and which are for other people. It's a general reading. There's going to be messages for everybody in here, so you kind of need to decipher, which is very much the meaning of this Oracle of Delphi card. You know, the Oracle receives the messages, so this is what I'm doing now. I'm just telling you what I'm getting, and it's up to you as the person listening to interpret those messages. It's funny because I can say things in a reading and I can think that I know what's going on as I'm saying it, and then people talk to me afterwards. Either it's people I know in real life and they tell me how they interpreted it, or like the comments that I get sometimes, and it's in real life. It's all real life, right? Is this just real life? Is this a fantasy? So but it's like I think I know what's happening in the reading. I have my own interpretation of like what I'm picking up on, but the way I say it, so people can have a wildly different scenario, because you know your situation and I don't, right? So how the messages come through, it could apply to you in a completely different way than I can even fathom. I am just the messenger, okay? I'm just the channel. So do use your own intuition. I actually feel here in your reading that you have overheard something, or there's some kind of misinterpretation going on, where I feel like you've overheard something or stumbled upon something, and you've interpreted it one way, but actually there could be more there than meets the eye, perhaps. I will go into that more in a second. Just to kind of say the songs that have been coming through for you. My tablet's broke. I kind of like got into early Mercury in retrograde, if that's even possible, but like so many technical issues, so I can't pull songs for you on camera right now. I'm having to do everything kind of off camera and then tell you what is coming through, just because I've got so many kind of communication and technological issues going on at the moment. So do excuse me if you like to see the cards being pulled on camera. I just can't do that at the moment. I've had to scrap 3 readings this week already because it's just not flowing for me that way. So we're doing it this way this week. The songs that came through in the reading that for you that I had to scrap was Over the Rainbow, What a Wonderful World by Isreal, Kamakawiwo'ole, which is that beautiful kind of Hawaiian version of that song. So whatever that song means to you, Over the Rainbow, right? Rainbows did actually feature heavily in that last reading for you. It was talking about and it is kind of coming through for you here. There's this kind of like looking to the sky, visualizing a different future for yourself, or having hopes and dreams. I mean, it does come through in your reading. It's kind of like a sense of dissatisfaction for some of you in the place where you are and wishing that you could be somewhere else, which is funny because the next song that you got was Somewhere Else by Razorlight. I wish I could be somewhere else from here, right? I also got Cowboy Blues by Kesha and Bohemian Rhapsody. That's funny, I completely forgot that I got that and I just got it again. So definitely, you've got that twice now. Doubly got that song. As I've tuned into your energy today, so those were the songs for your last reading. They'll all be down in that description box down below. You can go and check that out. The songs that I got that played as I'm setting up your reading today was Groovejet, If This Ain't Love by Sophie Ellis Bextor. If This Ain't Love, Why Does It Feel So Good, right? And The Nights by Avicii or Avicii, you've got that again. So there's a whole set of Tell Me Anything readings talking about basically this metaphor of climbing a mountain that Capricorn just got that in their reading, this ascent. So The Nights by Avicii, it says, what does it say? It says, my father told me, and then there's something in that song about listening to something or things that you've been told or re-examining something. So whatever all that means to you, if it means anything at all to you, those are the songs that came through. It's like this kind of live a life you'll remember though. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the days that never die. Live a life you'll remember. So there's definitely something like that coming through where it's like a sense of dissatisfaction. It could be dissatisfaction in your job, your current living situation. It's this feeling of like there must be more out there. Is this it? Is this it? Is this everything I can expect from the world, or is there more that I've just not seen? Or this feeling of like, I wish I'd done this. I wish I could do that. You know, kind of like bucket list energy. Live a life you'll remember. So we'll see what we get kind of as I go into the cards. I have obviously pulled them already. I have started to interpret them. It comes through at first with this Field of Dreams card, which again, I kind of got all this like looking to the sky, like hopes, dreams, wishes, rainbows in your last reading. So again, this sense of like wishing on a star, looking to the sky to save me. That's Foo Fighters. You know, looking up, dreaming of a different place, a different reality, all the things that could be, right? Perhaps feeling very, very bored. I'm getting the sense, I'm drawn to this butterfly here, or fairy here, who is looking really quite bored, really disinterested in what everybody else is looking at. It's funny because, again, I don't want to steal anyone else's reading, but I'm just started to get the same kind of thing. I watched a Sun Tarot reading, I think it was Pisces this week, where it was like Pisces had done something really important and everybody else was looking at something in the sky, and it's sort of that playing through again. It's like this person's noticed, this person's looking up at the sky. It reminds me actually of again, these anecdotes come up for me and I don't know if they have any impact on you, so either take it or leave it. But I was once waiting to collect my children from school, and I was stood on the school playing fields and all the parents were talking, and I think one of my children had come out and they were very young and they were kind of rolling around on the grass. Maybe it was my son, maybe he wasn't in school yet. He was kind of rolling around on the field, running around playing, and I was sort of keeping an eye on him. So I was sort of stood apart from the other parents and I looked up at the sky. And I swear, I don't know what it was. Okay, I'm just going to tell you my experience. I don't know what it was. I'm going to sound crazy, I know. Conspiracy time. Put your tinfoil hats on. Put your colanders on your head. I looked up into the sky and there was this silver ball in the sky, right? I was like, oh, it's a plane. What's that on my hand? I don't know what, I've got a scratch on my hand. I've been cleaning my children's bedroom, so clearly something's got me. I was looking up at the sky and I could see this like silver ball in the sky, and I was thinking, what is that? It's like, it looks shiny, it looks metal, it looks reflective. Is it like a weather balloon? Is it a plane? We have lots and lots of planes. I'm kind of near a flight path, so I do see a lot of planes in the sky. I see a lot of helicopters coming and going. And I think we used to have an actual, like an RAF type place, sort of reasonably locally. And so I do see like training exercises and things that they do sometimes like this, and I remember thinking, oh, I wonder if it's like a training exercise or something for, I don't know. And then this other one came, so I was looking up at these two orbs, thinking, very high in the sky, thinking, what are they? And sort of looking around and thinking, has anyone else noticed these? To me, they seem very strange, right? They seem out of place. They seem like something I wouldn't normally see, and I'm trying to give it all these earthly reasons, but then I swear to God, one of them just, it was like hovering, like they were like, one was hovering, it was fixed, one kind of came close, and then I don't know what happened to this one, but this one went like gone. And I was like, did I just see a UFO? Did I just see a UFO? Kind of thing, like looking around the field like, tell me someone else saw this. So very surreal experience, and obviously my Libra brain is like, oh, I'm going to try and find a logical reason for this, but I don't know what it was. So technically it's an unidentified flying object. I don't know. It was several years back, but to me that's my UFO experience. So, but it's that kind of thing. It's like, you know, this person's not even looking, this person's interested in something that somebody else is doing, and then this person's like, what is that in the sky? What is that? So that's kind of what I'm getting through with that. But in combination with this card, which is the other card that came out, it's like, it's almost as though this little girl, this fairy here who got bored. You know, she maybe noticed a rabbit, and she got bored. She started playing. She kind of went a little bit further than she should have done, away from the grown-up fairies, right? Following this rabbit, almost like Alice in Wonderland. And she's there. The rabbit goes into this little garden, and she goes to get it, but she sees something, and she sees something that maybe she wasn't supposed to see. She's stumbled upon something, right? She's not meant to be here. And so it's like, I feel like you've overheard something, or you've seen something or overheard something that you weren't supposed to see or hear, right? This is how it's coming through to me. I will read the cards, the descriptions of these cards. Also noticing the numbers 21 and 41. So maybe there's like a 20-year difference. Maybe this is something that happened to you when you were a child, right? And it's kind of coming back around to you now. You're revisiting, rethinking this thing from the past, which again, I'll kind of go into when I show you the other cards that I've got. So it's like with this Ten of Swords in the reverse, I feel like to you it was a bit of a shock. To you it was like, and this not for you as well, it's like that wasn't for your ears or for your eyes. You weren't supposed to see that. You weren't supposed to know this. You weren't, you know, that information was not for you. This thing that you've stumbled upon, right? Not for you. You weren't supposed to be there. So then you've got this Ten of Swords, which kind of is saying to me, you can see how this it's the stabbed in the back card. It's like Julius Caesar stabbed in the back, and then like you can see here, it's almost like his soul is leaving his body. But what I'm getting from it today is, with it being in the reverse, it's like it's not the Ten of Swords. So I feel like you thought something was an ending. You thought something was a betrayal, a stab in the back. But I feel like with the Oracle of Delphi, it's some kind of misinterpretation. You saw the information that you weren't supposed to see. And perhaps if you were a child, to perhaps your child's mind, you didn't understand, you didn't have the whole piece of the puzzle, right? The whole picture. So you took it as some kind of betrayal, or an ending, or something negative, a stab in the back. But what I'm getting from this card today is it's almost like, it's like his soul starts to separate from his body, but then it gets sucked back in, is how it's coming through with it being in the reverse. It's like, so it's saying to me, maybe some kind of near-death experience, but it's more talking to me about maybe like something in your dream space, or astral projection, or a near-death experience where it's like, you know, sometimes when you're dreaming and you all of a sudden you kind of jolt yourself awake. It's like your soul's been sucked back into your body and you jolt awake. It's that kind of feeling. It's like a sudden jolt, right? Suddenly back in your own body. So I don't know if perhaps you are astrally projecting, whether intentionally or unintentionally, in your dream space. And it's like you, in this dream, you kind of went on this adventure. You know, maybe you thought about someone, because I believe the way it works, you think about somebody and then you're there in the room with them. So maybe you saw this person and you were suddenly in the room with these people where you weren't supposed to be. Sort of like, you know, the Muppets Christmas Carol, right? They're invisible, they can't be seen, they can overhear things though. So you overheard something, and it's like maybe someone stabbed you in the back, maybe someone said something about you, or you know, you overheard some kind of situation that you weren't supposed to know about, but you only had that piece of information, that like partial conversation. It wasn't the whole story. So you took it as this betrayal or ending, but actually, you know, jolted back into your body, but actually it wasn't that at all, is how it's coming through. It's like with more information, you can re-look at it. So the story changes as you grow up, or as you get more information. So I'm going to read these two cards for you, because they are the two cards that are leading this reading. So again, use your own intuition, take what resonates, leave anything that doesn't. I found the page and it kind of slammed shut on me there, so I don't know what that means. It's interesting because the card before that, the card before Field of Dreams, 21, is number 20, which is flying. You have the power to see things from a higher perspective. So with this astral body thing, it's like this sense of flying through the air and then suddenly being back in your body. It's funny, I was talking about those things that I saw in the sky, right? And if you look really closely on a lot of these cards, there's actually, you know, this unseen presence in the sky. I feel like that's you with that, you know, powerful, oh, that's a doorway. This powerful high priestess energy of yours, right? This intuition, this sense of knowing things but not knowing why you know them, of having a sense of things being off or wrong, or you know things without really knowing them. Like you've got really that strong Scorpio intuition here. So it's whether you're the Oracle of Delphi. And I find this again, like I was talking to you about how sometimes I get the messages, but I can't interpret them. I don't know what they mean. It's not for me to know what they mean because I'm just the conduit, right? I'm just the messenger. So perhaps you've got some kind of intuitive message. You've stumbled across something and you don't know what it means. Or you've interpreted it based on the knowledge of your own reality. But this person that you're reading is in a different situation and you don't have the life experience of that other person. This is why it's so personal, right? So you're interpreting the message from your own perspective, from your own life experience, but that person that the message is for is like, it means something very different to them because their situation is different, their life experiences is different. They've got a different it's like you've both got a library, right? A library of experience, and your books are different to their books. They're coming at this from a whole different angle, from a whole different pool of knowledge. So you've gone, well, this is what that would mean to me, but it's not what that means to them, is how it's coming through. So let me just field of dreams. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are always engaging the vast field of pure potential. This is the perfect time to harness the field of vast potential not yet realized in your life. Great abundance is yours if you're willing to do the work alongside the gentle gardener. It's funny because I did Capricorn's reading first this week. They were very determined to be the leader this week. So Libra's going up on Thursday. Cappy took over Monday. And they had the gentle gardener. And now you're being told to work alongside the gentle gardener. Be clear about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Concentrate on your best life regardless of the temporary outer conditions imposed on you by the greater world, which has its own story to tell. Wasn't that what I was just saying? Okay, I'm going to read that again just for clarity. Concentrate on your best life regardless of the temporary outer conditions imposed upon you by the greater world. See, this was what I was getting. It's like that somewhere else feeling, right? You're not where you're supposed to be right now, or you have an idea of where you want to be, but that's not the circumstances for you right now. It's kind of like there's roadblocks or something. There's things that are out of your hands. You have a basket full of seeds that are quite powerful, for your talents are divinely inspired and will indeed lead to a great harvest to be shared with others. So this could be like ideas, right? You will reap what you have sown. So good karma, stay in high vibrational energy. Dream big, dream beautiful, take action, and tend to the garden of your life and experience the extraordinary. Okay? So don't get distracted by the things that are going on around you. You know, the razzle dazzle, the things that are going on in the sky, the things that other people are looking at, because that's not your path, right? Like, look, like she's looking up at that path in the sky, like thinking that's her path, but you have a different path. You have different dreams and wishes, and it's like you're following them. So you see, hers are like sparkles, but yours are bubbles. Your path is different. Slow and steady. And look at this as well. Look at the mirror numbers. Right, you're the opposite. You're the opposite. You're the flip side of the coin. So it could be that you and somebody else are taking different paths right now. There's a split, right? There's different directions. Your paths, there's a fork in the road now, and you're meant to take different paths, perhaps. I knew those numbers were going to tell me something. Oh my goodness, look, and you've got 41 twice as well. Now that I'm paying attention to the numbers more, 41 could be a really significant number for you. And then 3, 4, 4, 5, like progressive numbers, and then number 1 and number 6, right? Sorry, just putting out all numbers now. Number 1 would be you. You're prioritizing yourself, putting yourself first. See, as well, if I move the field of dreams, it now goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. There is progress here. If you feel like there's obstacles in your path, there is progress. You could work with numbers somehow. You know, maybe you're an accountant or something. There could be something about numbers. maths, maybe you're learning maths. I don't know, maybe you're a maths teacher. So co-creating with the universe the path that's right for you. And I feel like your path is, there could be something, you could be being led, you know, maybe the rabbit is like a divine, you know, being divinely guided to jump out of your hands and run off. It's like an example would be my cat's really determined to go outside at the moment, and every time we open the front door she tries to make a dart for going outside. I need to get her chipped still. Like, COVID's kind of slowed down or restricted a lot of things, right? So I do need to, now that the restrictions are lifting, I need to get my bum in gear and get the cat chipped. I think I'm reluctant because I'm scared of letting her out. I live near quite busy roads and I'm just really worried about her getting lost or getting hurt. And that's what makes me kind of want her to be a house cat, but she doesn't want to be a house cat. She wants to leave, right? So there could be a message in that as well. But it's almost like she jumped out of my daughter's hands the other day and ran off down an alley, and my daughter had to run and get her. So it's that kind of feeling like the rabbit is programmed almost by the universe to jump out of your hands and lead you down this path into this unknown place, right? I feel like you're the unexpected visitor. So if you expect the unexpected, you'll be prepared for miracles. I feel like, this is what I'm saying, I feel like you're being pulled in a different direction. You're being taken on a different path. Detours, surprises, and paradigm shifts. Expect the unexpected. No matter how detailed your plans are and how clear you believe the road ahead to be, there are always times when the best plans are waylaid by unforeseen circumstances. At first, detours may seem inconvenient, but a surprise turn of events signals that the adventure of life is beginning to get interesting. No one can plan for synchronicity, for fate and destiny to meet, except Spirit, who knows what you can't comprehend for now. Life is full of surprises, so stay on your toes and enjoy this exciting new adventure you weren't expecting. There is a plan for your life that may not match up with your agenda. It's funny because Capricorn got something about, I saw a car speed up when the traffic lights were on amber to get through before they went to red, and it's like, it came through as like, and now I don't agree with that. It really annoys me normally, but it came through as like a window of opportunity, right? I was seeing it as like Indiana Jones, you know, when he rolls under the door and then at the last second he's got enough time to grab his hat. So again, it's like that door is like the window of opportunity. It's closing. And it's like, you didn't expect to be there in front of this door, right? You didn't expect that opportunity to present itself. So are you going to let the door close, or are you going to instinctively jump through it? It feels like that, right? It feels like you're going to do something instinctively. And it feels, again, like I was getting that feeling of like a jolt. It's like a sudden realization, like, oh no, I have to, like, what's my choice going to be? It's like having to make a quick decision almost, right? This card as well, when I was looking at it when it first came out, it reminds me of my grandma. My grandma used to take me down this path behind all the houses, you know, behind all the gardens. It was like an access path. And she used to take me to this house at the end. And the access path led into this kind of beautiful, almost like a Victorian flower garden with this big old house. And it felt like we were creeping up on this house, you know, like creeping up into the back garden. And it was beautiful. And she used to tell me when I was just a little girl, right? It's funny, that Avicii song, my father told me when I was just a child. It's like my granny told me when I was just a child. She told me that was where the fairies lived. That was the fairy garden. So she used to go, do you want to go and see the fairy garden? Should we go and see the fairy garden? And we'd hold hands and walk down that path and go and spy on this poor neighbour's garden because it was so pretty. And I do the same in Chester. I think it's a hotel, but it has this kind of like magical looking little garden with this big iron gate. And every time I walk past with my children, I go, oh, it's the fairy garden. Should we see if we can see the fairies? And they've kind of outgrown it now, but I don't know. It's funny that was coming through. It could mean, again, it could mean something to somebody. So stumbling upon something and then having this sudden feeling of like, you know, you weren't supposed to hear that opportunity is not for you, or it wasn't supposed to be for you, but it's like right place, right time. So perhaps you're just going to perhaps you're just going to take it, you know? Now, I feel like there's something secretive going on. These two cards hid in the deck. So I feel like because you've got this knowledge that you weren't supposed to know about this, it's like, what are you going to do about it? So it comes in with this leg up energy. Now, this is a polar bear. This is like, sometimes it represents somebody in the business world, right? I associate it with Pisces energy and kind of Nine of Wands energy leading into Emperor energy. It's like the person who's built for the job, they can withstand the cold, right? They've got a lot of perseverance, they've got like this, you know, the energetic stores, they're kind of a bit of a powerhouse, and they succeed, they become the emperor because they work through that Nine of Wands energy, which is like the resistance, the things that, you know, that break other people down and make them fall to the wayside. This person's got the perseverance to push through, to survive, to make it to the finish line. So it feels like I am getting through this kind of like, you're coming through as the child energy, the younger energy, and then you have this big polar bear that shows up, and it's like, come on, like it's now turning into like Narnia, right? Aslan, and like it's like, come on, get on my back, you know, I'm gonna carry you the rest of the way, I'm gonna support you, I'm gonna show you. Or like what's that brilliant TV show, the BBC did a remake of it, I think it was a film and then the BBC did it. It was like I've forgotten his name now. I used to call it my stepdad, Grandad David. I started calling him my polar bear because he always came in like a knight in shining armour and kind of rescued me when I was in need. I can't remember the polar bear's name now. That's really bothering me. Is it His Mortal Instruments or something? I don't know. It's this story about this little girl with this like special compass, but she's the only one who can interpret what it means. And there's this like big warrior polar bear who she befriends, who like flies in to save her. It's that kind of energy. It's like this person shows up. It's like right place, right time. Or it could just be like this universal energy, like giving you this kind of support. But like you've got that gorgeous milk and honey card underneath. I could just show you that card. It's funny because this is now my mum and my stepdad, because my stepdad's the polar bear and my mum loves elephants. So it's now like, and look, there's the rainbow. So this is coming about support, possibly like parental support or ancestral support, blessed underneath that as well. Gorgeous. So this is like maybe a person in your life who can support you, who can give you a leg up, can give you a boost. But it's almost like, I feel like it's like this person shows up and it's like, you know, I was talking about that split decision. Are you going to go or are you going to stay? I think you've already, with this being secretive, I feel like you've already made your mind up that you're going to go. It's like they're going to show up. It's like, get in the car, time to go, right? So it's time to go. And I feel like this polar bear energy is coming through with this soulmate energy. You know, this person they're your superhero, right? They're your savior. They're the hero you needed when you didn't know you needed one. They show up at the right time. And this is why they've kind of got the key to your heart there. When you're tripping over your own feet, I'm really drawn to kind of like how they look a bit like red peppers, these kind of like silly clown shoes that she's wearing. It's like when you trip up, this is the person who comes in. Like, it's like, I'll catch you if you fall energy. So then here's the Oracle of Delphi. It could be talking about your intuition, your inner knowing, but there's something about interpretation here as well. And then this Queen of Keys energy. So this reminds me of like the Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, Queen of Keys. So this could be you, or it could be somebody in your life who, again, it's like this, it could be a businesswoman, like with the polar bear as well. It's like right place, right time. I'm just trying to find the Queen of Keys. Okay. A queen dressed in a gown of rich colours and textures stands atop a tower of her great castle, happily looking over the rich verdant hills of her domain. In the far distance, her husband returns from his travels. Oh yeah, like right, if you can get it to focus, right there, you see? Just right in the corner there. The card represents a woman of authority. She is sensitive, helpful, and thoughtful. She is confident in her authority, but always happy to celebrate the success of others. She could be a love interest for you or someone in your life. Besides referring to a positive woman of business, this card can represent you or another who is about to climb the ladder of success. Positions in banking, investment, real estate and management may be coming. Self-employment in any industry could also be at hand, as well as greater financial independence, increased authority or creative autonomy at work. Okay, so good, because I feel like this person's coming in like the right place at the right time, but it's almost because you took some sort of detour. It's like, this isn't the plan, this wasn't my 5-year plan, but it's like this has been put in front of me and I'm going to kind of like take advantage of this situation while it's here almost, right? It's like an unexpected redirection in your life is how it's kind of coming through. So then you've got this kind of let me just move all these cards out of the way now because I want to make space for the next set of cards. So then we go back to this Ten of Swords in reverse. You thought it was over, right? You misunderstood something. You heard something you shouldn't say. Maybe you've been astrally projecting, right? But it's like all of a sudden it's like this jolt back into your body. And it comes with this, the next card is this like Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is like emotionally giving up on something. It's like, normally the meaning is like you're so busy crying over the 3 cups that have been spilled that you don't notice the cups that are still standing behind you. So it's that kind of energy of like, I feel like you thought something that had ended, but you misunderstood. So you emotionally started to say goodbye, you know, to release whatever that was that you thought had ended. But it's almost like with this being in the reverse, it's like this was a misunderstanding. You don't have to say goodbye at all. Those 3 cups, they are actually, you can refill them, because the card that comes next is this 3 of Cups card. So can you see the girl here? It's like the same girl. So it's like she thought she had to say goodbye to something, but actually, you know, there is reason to celebrate. There is a reason to, she's like getting together with these friends. This talks about like your friendship group, or getting together and celebrating something, or, you know, supportive connections. It can talk about the community around you. So she didn't have to say goodbye at all. She was able to actually refill these cups, because maybe she didn't understand that she was a mermaid. You know, she could actually, I don't know, you see what I'm saying? It's like these 3 cups, these 3 mermaids actually have refilled the cups. So it's like you didn't have to say goodbye at all. You didn't have to, it's like you thought something wasn't for you, but you'd misunderstood the situation. So those cups get refilled, and you realise actually that there's something that's salvageable here, and it's something to do with this Ten of Pentacles. So it's talking to me about either revisiting something or returning to something that felt like your stability. So this could talk about your parents' house, right? Or it could be for some of you, you know, somebody did have like a near-death experience. Now somebody had to go to hospital, but they were revived, right? So you started to release, you started to say goodbye, but all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, they actually pulled through against all odds, kind of thing I'm hearing. And then it's like, you're happy that this person's finally, maybe it's like a grandfather, you know, you're happy that they're actually back at home with you. It's like you didn't have to say goodbye at all. Like it wasn't really ending. You just misinterpreted something. So now what the really nice thing is, like, he's now entertaining the baby with one of these fairies from the beginning, right? It's like he's got one of those little fairies in his hand, and he's teaching the baby about it. It's like, miracles are possible. You can believe in magic. And look how like absolutely overjoyed that gorgeous little baby is there. So it's actually turning into a very beautiful reading. It's like that person is like, you know, they're revitalized. They've got that second wind almost with the Six of Swords. This is celebration, success, victory, reward and recognition. It's like what you thought was dead is actually still very much alive and in control. And it comes with this huge burst of energy. It feels like, you know, with the Avicii song, Live a Life You'll Remember. Now do be careful. Very sadly, that performer is no longer with us. He actually did die quite young, but it could almost be like somebody got into an accident, perhaps, you know, I'm hearing car accident. It doesn't have to be, just sort of noticing like how that's kind of almost looks like it's speeding out of control. It's like maybe like the brakes failed or something. It's like somebody was injured, or somebody had like some kind of life or death experience, and you know, literally like a near-death experience, and they were given this second chance. And it's like, you know, I was talking about a bucket list at the beginning of the reading. It's like I now realise that my life is a gift and I've been wasting my time, and I need to take the reins of my own life and celebrate and live every moment and live a life I'll remember, right? It's like this person gets this huge burst of energy, this huge second wind, and it comes in then with these cards. Look at this, the Eight of Wands and the Knight of Wands. It's like sudden communication. It's very, very passionate. It's like, it could even be like this person's revived, but they know that they don't have long, right? And it's like, so it's this kind of like, I have to make the most of the time that I have. I have to communicate these things that I've seen, you know, perhaps like with this astral projection business. I have to tell you, I have to do this thing. I just have to do this thing. It's like, I have to do it. It's like this sudden burst of like willpower or energy or motivation and communication. It's like very, very passionate here. It's with the Knight of Wands and Eight of Wands. It's like, I have to do this. It's like, look, the seal is now, it's like the seal, like she was saying goodbye to it, but actually now it's pulling this chariot forwards almost. But then it hits this shadow side and the Ten of Swords again. So the shadow side is the Devil card in this deck. So it's like some kind of fear. It's like somebody has to confront the fear, and the fear that they have to face is the fear of endings. So it's like you have to revisit this moment. You have to go back to whatever this was and revisit it and face it, right? You have to face your own shadow self, your own fears, your own addictions, your own, it could be, right, it could be somebody had some kind of unhealthy habit, or a codependency. You know, it could be somebody who's in a codependent situation. Whatever it is for you, it can mean so many different things. The shadow self, right? Whatever holds you back, whatever keeps you chained, whatever keeps you small, whatever keeps you fearful. And it's like a fear of endings. It's a fear of change. This person's finally confronting those fears head on. Look, they're coming straight at it. It's like hunting down the devil almost. Like, I'm hearing I'm not afraid anymore. I'm actually hearing a song, Billie Eilish. I'm not afraid anymore. What makes you sure you're all I need? Forget about it. It's like suddenly I have to do this. It's confronting some aspect of yourself, right? And it could be that you have to stand up to somebody else, right? You have to say what you needed to say. But I feel with it being this Ten of Swords, this ending that wasn't an ending, it's whether you've seen something of the other side, or it almost gives me the energy of like correcting something. Like you're given a second chance. You're given a second chance because you had this near-death experience, and like you realized that there was something that you hadn't dealt with. You know, there was like some kind of soul work that you had to do before you could move on, like a fear or something from the past, some kind of ending in the past that you never fully understood, where I feel like now you can understand it, because I think you were too young to understand whatever that thing was that you didn't understand when you were small and young, right? Now you understand it. It could be something about soulmate energy. All right. I hope that reading was helpful to you, Scorpio. Leave me a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that business. Leave me a comment if anything particularly resonated. Share it with your friends if you think it's their story and it's not going to freak them out too much. If you want to come in as a stealth watcher and fly in under the radar, that's perfectly acceptable. I understand that people need to do that sometimes. And I'm very happy that you watched the video and got to this point. You know, I'm very, very thankful that you stuck with me that long. It actually means quite a lot. So I appreciate you, even if you're not making your presence known. And I'm going to, because I can't use my tablet at the moment on camera, I'm going to pull you 2 songs off camera now. So that Billie Eilish song is the last song that came through so far. So you should have 2 more songs on the end of that list there down in the description box. The penultimate one, the second to last song, is going to be what you really, really need to hear right now. And the last song is going to be a piece of advice from the universe. So I'm just going to randomize songs, and whatever I get, I'm going to make a note of down there in the description box. So I hope it's helpful to you. Do use your own intuition with that Oracle of Delphi card. You know, you can only interpret this based on your knowledge of your own circumstances, right? Don't force things to fit if they don't fit. But do the shadow work, confront your fears. And then I think those obstacles will be overcome, and you'll be able to go to those better places, right? All right, take care. Thank you for sticking with me this long, and I'll see you again soon. Bye, Scorpio.